What's up, manga fans, and welcome back to another review of Bleach. This week's chapter 653, The Theatre Suicide, Scene 7. So by the outcome of this chapter, I can assume that Scene 7 will be the last scene of this battle, unless Kubo decides to troll us and we'll see a Scene 8. But yes, it seems like this is the finale of Kiriakis and Nanao versus Lille. And once again, we got more flashbacks. Now, I'm generally was surprised again. I thought we had all we needed, but it wasn't really that much more information. It was just kind of, I'd say, rounding up, and you might as well say it rounded up the flashback and rounded up the fight at the same time. So that was kind of completing the flashback. We see that Nanao's mother had given Kiriakis' brother one of her hairpins, and this makes sense now. So Kiriakis had received a hairpin from his brother and received the other from Nanao's mother, so that was basically the burdens he's carried. And I think the little sub-caption, we see two hairpins, one shadow, was a perfect kind of description of, his scenario. His title is, the one shadow who's carrying two hairpins, two burdens. So it was a decent flashback. Well, to finish off, it was sweet and funny, but obviously bittersweet in the fact that we know they both die. We see Kiriakis, and he's once again in his young, much younger state than he is now, and he's leering at his brother kind of in a teasing way, where he was receiving very loving words from his wife after he received a hairpin from her, saying, knowing that he's holding on to one of the same things that she has while she's out suppressing hollows will keep her strong. So it's kind of like a sentimental thing, that if you have a piece of this, it's like her giving a piece of her heart to him. And he has, obviously, she has the other one, so they're connected in some way, and it makes her stronger while out in the battle. So we also see the last bit of confirmation that Kiriakis' brother was an arsehole beforehand, and now he changed for the better because of Nanao's kindness. He said, well, I didn't purposely change. This wasn't an intentional transition. I was changed by Nanao's mother's kindness and gentle nature. So yeah, as I said, it was really nice to see this. It was sad, obviously, because we know they're both dead, but it was obviously, as I said, a nice look back into Kiriakis' past with these two people, despite, their disastrous outcomes. Now, Nanao in this chapter was interesting. I liked the realistic, I'd say the human qualities we saw in this. It was very realistic what Kubo did. Her swordsmanship struggles. This is the first time she's actually wielded a sword in battle, and it reminded me of that time when she was panicking in front of Yamamoto when Ukitake and Kiriakis was going to battle him, and he was like, "You're just a little girl, you're nothing," kind of thing. Like, just from feeling he's reactive, she was literally completely incapacitated and couldn't do much. And this chapter had the same kind of feeling. She was terrified to fight with a sword. She didn't know it was like this scary to use a sword in battle. The sensation of being cut hurts more than she thought it would be. It's scaring her, and she literally has her feet stuck to the ground. She doesn't know what to do. She's so scared and immobile by the sensation of fighting in her actual sword fight for the first time. It's frightened her, despite obviously, cutting off one of Lille's hands. Now, she is literally terrified to move until Kiriakis finally arrives and provides his support, with Lille mocking him, saying, "Oh, you finally come out of the shadows and you're hiding behind your subordinate. How pathetic." Now, their relationship at this point is, I'd say ambiguous what they are in terms of, I'd say, are they related or not? I don't really care, because their relationship is just nice how it is. They have this obviously subordinate and captain relationship, but at the same time they're equal. And I like that when he appeared, he's like, "Don't worry, I'll always be right behind you," and that was more than enough to basically restore her resolve, because she has a monologue and thinking, all these times I've been supported by him, I tried to come back early and provide support, but he's always supported me. And one of her particular lines was, "The commander's compassion is almost as if it's flowing outwards," was, in my opinion, a stark resemblance of Rukia's monologue when she was saved by Ichigo. His words, from his words, his eyes, "I can feel his power flowing into me. You've grown very strong." It's the same kind of thing. It's a man's basically words and protective I'd say aura, and just them being there has provided the female with a lot of mental strength and capacity, and this is something Rukio got from him as well. She was strengthened up by Ichigo's result, and Kiriakis has strengthened up Nanao. So we literally see on the next page she's completely calmed down, and I was just like, wow, this is some deep stuff for their relationship. So going on to Lille, we see a new attack from him, the God's Trumpet, and it is powerful. It pretty much created a massive hole in the city below when he finally fired it. But as Shinken Hakkyoken was stated before, to reflect the ability of a god, it does just that. And there was literally only a sliver of land left where Nanao and Kyoraku are standing there, basically completely protective. And in return, Lille has a piece of his body completely blown off. It was so clean, it was like a rubber or something like very sharp, just cleanly wiped him away. And he's like, oh, I remember this. Like, it has the ability to reflect, or it has the strength or power to reflect a god's ability. It's like, this is blasphemy. And he crumbles away the end. And I was like, wow, okay. And he pretty much, as he's fading, the idea of reflecting a god's power is a grave sin is the last thing he states. So yeah, pretty much states that Lille is destroyed. And if that's the case, then damn, that was a quick one shot after the long battle we've had with Kyoraku, Nanao and Lille. It was just drawn out. Lille didn't seem like he was dying anytime soon, and then he just dies in one instant. So the sword is as Shinken Hakkyoken was stated to be a god slayer. It just completely obliterated him in one fell swoop, or two technically. But yeah, it proved its power. As I said, it was a convenient battle, but Bleach is kind of full of things like this. It is story progressive rather than battle manga. So I'm not complaining. As I said, I enjoyed it. It was nice to see this flashback. And if this is the end, then I'm happy. As I said, Kyoraku and Nanao is alive. I did state that before. I think they would survive. I was kind of praying they would survive, but now it seems like they have survived. So if that's the case, they can move on and help the rest of the group. And then maybe we can go on to see Ichigo's group fighting someone or something else. But we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that's more or less it for this chapter. I can assume this is the finale. There won't be a scene 8, and we'll just move on to whatever battle is next. Either fighting Gerald Valkyrie or Ichigo versus Askin Cravat. So you guys know the usual. If you enjoyed this chapter, let me know what you think in the comment box below, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Take care.